Best of High-End.
Experience the beauty of audio and video.
I still love good old stereo. At home I have Steinway & Sons S-based system, and that is actually from the principle that the least expensive Steinway system should be absolutely able to make me happy. If it's not making me happy, I'm not going to make it. So it has to be fantastic. I actually still only have a 5-channel system. So I haven't gone to 7 channels. I will, in the next year or so, when I have the time, I'll go to full 3D with the height speakers and so on. I think going from stereo to multi-channel is extremely enjoyable on live concerts and so on. And there's a lot of very, very nice recordings in Blu-ray. Fantastic dynamic range, fantastic performance, and you see the picture and you have the sound at the same. It gives just a fantastic experience. But when I do a demo of my home theater, I always start in stereo. So I tell people it's surround, but it is actually only stereo. And most people say it's the best surround I've ever heard, but it's still only stereo. Then I switch on the surround, and it's just a little bit better. It's more immersive and so on. But I would, if you have a limited budget, I'd always say, look at really good stereo, and then evaluate carefully what a multi-channel brings you. And unfortunately, it's so that a lot of the complicated home theater systems can be very good for movies, but in terms of purity of the signal, fidelity of the signal, they're lacking compared to really good stereo. With our digital technology and the way we structure the products, we make sure that there is no sacrifice when we go to multi-channel. So if you take a Steinway Model D versus our multi-channel system with 78 channels, the last of those channels will have identical performance to the Model D. There is not a grain of degradation to the signal, because I always go for, first of all, we have the purity of the signal. I don't want another 62 channels if they're slightly worse than the 2 channels in the front, because purity of signals is the most important. But I do enjoy immersive sound. So if you have the budget for it, I would say absolutely go for it. Also because there's so much good material out there. There's many good Blu-rays with tremendous dynamic range and fantastic performances and so on. So I enjoy it a lot. And if I have 2 versions of a song, one is in multi-channel and one is in stereo, I typically prefer the multi-channel. Pentatone, SACDs, multi-channel, fantastic sound. One of our clients is composer Gordon Getty, Paul Getty's grandson. He also makes music, and some of his recordings with Pentatone are just phenomenal in multi-channel. And when you cut back to 2-channel, then you're really losing quite a bit. So I love multi-channel, but it has to be done right. And don't go for something where you have a processor and then you have an EQ and then you make everything too complicated, because at the end of the day the sound quality will suffer if you are not really making sure everything is perfect. And what we do all the time is that when we do a multi-channel processor, we don't do just the box. We don't do just the aluminum parts. We do everything, because I want everything to be perfect. So we don't let anybody into our systems. It is not something where you take the lid off and you find another receiver part inside.
Best of High-End.
Experience the beauty of audio and video.
Sign up for free
at bestofhighend.com.